As the president keeps focused on foreign relations, there's renewed focus on his work with aide Natalie.
Come on, man. Really? Really? You had to put a fucking Natalie Harp mention in an article that's 1 minute and 30 seconds long, and immediately they had to slam a Natalie Harp mention. God damn it, dude. Lip slop is so powerful. Lip slop is the most powerful mode of propaganda. I swear to God, it's crazier than even like Republic slop. What gives?
Антисемитизмом называется распространение вражды к евреям. Когда проклятая исламская монархия доживала свое последнее время, она старалась натравить темных рабочих и крестьян на евреев.
Earlier this week, Georgia Democratic Senator John Hasan, who's running for re-election and is seen as a potential 2028 White House contender, said this.
He wants to build his ballroom and travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace.
Trump hit back.
You mean Pee Wee Herman? Pee Wee Herman lookalike?
But during the 2024 campaign, some in Trump's orbit nicknamed the 35-year-old Harp the human printer because she follows the president with a portable printer to print out articles she believes he should read. Trump's been known to call her something else.
The president didn't call her the human printer. He called her my conveyor belt because she was constantly able to feed him the things he wanted.
Axios White House reporter and CBS News contributor Mark Caputo notes Harp also has access to the president's Truth Social account.
Natalie Harp has the closest access.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Trump is piping. One, because in my headcanon, as I've said over and over again, Trump is a gay man. He only has sex for power. He is a bisexual, or no, he's an asexual biromantic. And I think that if you were to ask me, is Natalie Harp coming around Trump's nether regions? Like, is she physically in the premise of Trump's bussy, for example? I would say yes. Not for some sexual reasons, but to change his diaper. That's my assessment. My assessment on this is they're not fucking. He's not piping. He's not hitting that. And they are in a non-romantic. Well, Natalie might actually have romantic feelings for him because she is a fucking whole ass freak. But anytime she's coming near his nether region, it is for a very specific purpose, and it has nothing to do with sex.
Oh, too many, thank you. It's about 20. That must be 35.
Traveling from India to California with an unshakable dream to be the scientist.
How many people are watching?
Can we tell how many, Dan? How many people are watching?
She's talking about how great San Francisco was before she destroyed it. A lot of talk about childhood. We've got to get to the border, inflation, and crime.
He's not proposing a single policy, not one policy proposal.
Ours' biography won't lower your prices at the grocery store.
Or at the pump.
Out there putting veterans out on the street, so...
33,000 homeless veterans. Country, okay, say these out. The things of which she complains. The things of which she complains.
In many ways.
This video is so funny because it's like they're in the Situation Room, and what they're doing is just live tweeting Kamala Harris. And what's even funnier is that things have literally not changed. Like, Trump is president now, and this is still all he does. It's kind of wild, man. What a fucking ridiculous world we live in. This guy is the commander of the military, okay? He's the commander-in-chief. He is in charge of one of the world's largest nuclear arsenals. He did January 6th, and we still elected him back into office. And now he spends most of his time talking about how grass is alive.
Donald Trump is an unserious man.
Oh. You hear that, folks?
But the consequences...
It's great, right?
Oh. Yeah. Oh.
The consequences...
Ready? These prosecutions were all started by her and Biden against their political opponents. Me. Get that out right away.
Have of caravans heading to the border, people showing up to the border with Biden-Harris t-shirts. Everything we have of people swarming the border.
She paid bail for rioters in the Minnesota Freedom Fund.
She paid and raised bail. She paid bail to get the violent...
Yeah,
Riders in Minnesota out of jail.
Tim Walz let Minnesota burn. Kamala Harris put out the ones who lit the matches.
Put it in there. Put it right in with the stuff, right?
With that post, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
You could do it either that or separate.
Dude, look at the way she's looking at him. She's likely why Jennings got picked. Turns out Scott's little meltdowns over Ossoff saying Trump travels with Natalie were audition tapes. Jennings sends us clips of his media appearances defending Natalie Harp to the White House as he auditions for the press secretary job. Oh my God. My ops. The Trump-Natalie talking point is just a culture war issue. Conservatives love that Ossoff is talking about it because it gives conservatives something to pretend to be angry about while it keeps Ossoff from talking about policy. No needle move, just endless criticism. Yeah, I mean, I can't stand that conservatives even feel like they have a leg to stand on, like they have any room here to complain. Like, oh, you're using, oh, how dare you say that Natalie Harp is possibly having sex with the president? Like,
Say more lies, lying about the Project 2025.
Oh, lying against Project 20.
Does Trump slop sells on YouTube just from one liberal channel? New update. Trump's female aide rocks Washington. Major update on Trump's young female aide surges into news. Uh-oh. Trump confronted with question on young female aide. Bombshell. Natalie Harp update stuns the country. Yeah, I got to do this. I got to do lip slop. I have to do lip slop, man. What am I doing? I'm going to keep talking about Natalie. I'm going to keep talking about Natalie Harp. Oh, my God. Savage burn. Everybody knows Donald Trump having booty sex with Natalie Harp.
25, which she knows, and so do all Democrats, that I have absolutely nothing to do with.
She says we all know what a Trump second term will look like. We can say yes, no inflation, secure borders, the best economy in the history of the world, and peace.
She said chart a new way forward. She's turning a new way.
Chart a new way forward.
She's done nothing but harm.
Natalie jumped into a trunk just to be close to him. I know, dude. I know. I know the fucking stories. I've been reading. I've been following the lip slop as well. Natalie Harp is a total freak show. Okay? A complete nutter. Just a totally psychotic individual. Don't know how else to put it. She's out of her dang mind. Okay? She is. Her story starts with, I guess, like, her claiming that Donald Trump saved her life with the right to try. You know, she had like some kind of unique bone cancer, or she claimed she had some kind of unique bone cancer. And then right to try helped her, right? That she like got the experimental drug that saved her from this otherwise like unfixable bone cancer style disease. Then where can I find a freak like her for me? Okay, dude, that's crazy. She's like the chick in Obsession. You don't want that kind of smoke. So after that life-saving medical intervention, her obsession with Donald Trump grew even further. And she went on One America News, right? She became an anchor on One America News. And she was like aggressively trying to become a part of Donald Trump's inner circle. Yes, Keith Edwards is correct. It literally is the same picture. He saved your life and you're mad that she just want to wipe his diarrhea ass? Yeah, I am not. And there was an article written about it in the New York Times. Several videos shared with the Times show Miss Harp sprinting across great distance to keep up with Mr. Trump's golf cart as it putters across his course in Scotland. I also am sorry if I was an embarrassment walking the course in Scotland, she wrote in a letter to the president that was viewed by the Times. So this is the other thing. She writes little letters for Donald Trump all the time. The letter goes on to say, I want things to always be right between us. I also know I've been distracted all week, forgetting to eat throughout the days and even forgetting to sleep and only catching a couple hours at a time. The letter concludes, with all my heart, Natalie. And it's so funny because all of these stories, in every single one of these stories, there is always a new photo that I had not seen before. And all of these photos look more insane than the last. She's always creepily standing by him. She always has that creepy smile. She's always looking at Trump or looking in his direction obsessively. It is actually an insane story. It's like, I know it's lip slop, but it's actually damn good lip slop. I was annoyed that Jon Ossoff was like, yeah, you're flying around with Natalie. And then everyone was talking about how like Jon Ossoff is the greatest orator of all time and blah, blah, blah. But then most people were like, what the fuck is Natalie? Who is this guy talking about? I'm actually extremely online and I didn't even know it. I did know who Jon Ossoff was talking about because I'm fucking insane. It turns out she was also responsible for the Obama as being portrayed as monkeys in the AI video. She was the one who retruthed that truth. She never takes a day off, not even on Sundays. She works out of the Oval Office, and she's gotten a regular seat on Marine One. She texts with world leaders on the president's behalf. She stays up late with him, drafting social media posts. She rarely speaks on camera, and yet she's never not there, ever present with a wide smile, her eyes fixed on the president. She is Natalie Harp, the 35-year-old West Wing aide who is the utmost gatekeeper to President Trump, a one-woman conduit of information operating entirely outside of the usual chain of command. The public's interest in Ms. Harp exploded after she was revealed last week to be one of the few lucky folks who joined the president inside an airplane catering container to be whisked out of Turkey under the threat of attack by Iran. So she had a higher priority, in Trump's eyes at least, than Marco Rubio did. This week, she became the subject of a political attack line delivered by Jon Ossoff, the Democratic senator from Georgia, who said the president, he doesn't want to do the job. He wants to build his ballroom and travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace gifted by the Emir of Qatar. By the way, I'm going to repeat my statement one more time for all the freaks who think I am, I love Jon Ossoff. I want to hug and kiss Jon Ossoff. I want to be in a relationship with Jon Ossoff where we have sweaty, hot sex all the time. This is not the case. Okay? I'm simply saying that Jon Ossoff has figured out how to do liberal sloppyism. Okay? Constantly hitting Trump on corruption, constantly hitting Trump, never backing down. This is another one of those incidents where he is so tuned in to the frequency of liberal wine moms that get all of their news and information from MS Now. Like, he is such a blue sky liberal. He is such an MS Now liberal. He is hashtag resistance liberalism 1.0 from 2016. But liberals love him. I would go so far as to say this. He is like the bizarro universe AOC, where his legislative track record is abysmal, whereas AOC's is fantastic. But on the comm side, he is capable of presenting himself as this like bold anti-Trump fighter, whereas AOC, unfortunately, at times is not. She doesn't come across as like as bold. Like, AOC's strength is her legislative track record, which is as close to unblemished as you can possibly be in American Congress. Jon Ossoff's legislative track record is the exact opposite. It is so bad. He does liberal sloppyism. However, I lived in a district where Ossoff first ran for Congress, and when he first ran for Congress and nearly won outright in the special election jungle primary, every single one of my high school friends' mothers was flicking their beans to Jon Ossoff. He's always been this smooth. Yeah. You're asking Hakeem Jeffries with Riz to change his policy, Lamau. Yes. My real dark horse in the Georgia race, if there is to be a senator from Georgia who runs for office, I say go Raphael Warnock, go. But the Raphael Warnock of 2018, when he was a liberation theologist, sloppyism plus Obama nostalgia visionary plus electability argument makes him dangerous in the primaries. Not saying he would win, but he can't be underestimated. Yes. Anyway, so he did that little tweak, and one word, that one mere mention of Natalie unleashed a firestorm. And the senator singling out of Ms. Harp triggered a particularly ferocious response from many corners of Trump world, White House aides, lawmakers on Capitol Hill, conservative influencers, and at least one cabinet member took to the ramparts on X to defend Ms. Harp's honor. There were accusations of sexism from the right, cries of snowflakery from the left. Mr. Trump deflected when a reporter from CNN asked him about Mr. Ossoff's comments. But a social media account run by the administration then attacked the reporter in unusually personal terms, invoking her children. But the furor intensified. However, while the furor intensified, I think there was a good reason for why the media decided there was blood in the water and went on a feeding frenzy. And we found out some insane things about Miss Harp in the process. She collects a taxpayer-funded salary of $150,000. Her double-barreled title is special assistant to the president and executive assistant to the president. At work, she can be a bit of a loner, even in his West Wing, in which loyalty to the president seems to know no bounds. Miss Harp's displays of devotion have unnerved some of her colleagues. I'll give you some examples. Natalie Harp was not allowed to have permanent residence in Mar-a-Lago. She has run into Donald Trump's car and put herself in the trunk. She stayed not in Mar-a-Lago, in Bedminster. She stayed in the women's locker room. She slept in the women's locker room in Bedminster. Her unlimited fealty and devotion knows no bounds. She also worked in the White House without security clearance for a year. Her lack of security clearance is one of the several red flags raised about Harp internally by Trump's top aides. Anyway, there's also her brother, her family have all kind of like disowned her a little bit, or not her entire family, but her family have been, her brother is like some socialist stoner guy who lives in Latin America. And he also called her out as well. CNN broke the trunk story. Meet Natalie Harp, the aide so close to Trump, she once rode in an SUV trunk to accompany him. But we will carry on with this story with my next guest. We have a special guest in the building. Her name is Madeline Summerville. All right, so we are currently in the process of covering the Natalie Harp story, and I thought maybe you can have some insight into this as well. Are you familiar with what's been going on with Natalie Harp?
I am.
So yeah, I've been looking into this Natalie Harp story, and I'm interested to hear what your perspective is. She is a little bit of a kook, it seems, and it's taken up the MSNBC, MS Now world by storm. This is what
so dumb.
This is what they're hyper focusing on, which is fine. I mean, it's an interesting story because she is actually strange. Guys, stop saying it. Give her water. She has her beverage right here.
Oh, that's so nice. Your fans are the nicest.
No, they're not. They're
yes, they
awful.
are. You're wonderful.
They're awful monsters.
They're wonderful.
Don't acknowledge them. They're terrible.
They were so nice to me.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the Natalie Harp situation. So let me wrap it up first, and then we'll talk about some of the media hits that I saw you do, talking about Abdul Al-Sayed, talking about myself with Will Kane as well.
Sure.
But yeah, what do you think is going on with this Natalie Harp situation? Do you think because my speculation is, I'll just right off rip, I'll tell you what I think. I think Trump is asexual, biromantic. He does not have sex for personal pleasure. I think he has sex for power in the same way that rapists do, and he is.
Sure, that's right.
Yeah, he is a at least like court ordained rapist as well. So
yep.
I don't have a problem saying that.
Adjudicated as such.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what I think when I think of Donald Trump. So I don't think he's like having sex with Natalie Harp, even though some people are speculating that.
Yeah.
I think she is picking up his diapers, I think. Like diaper cleaner, human printer. That's what she's been called.
Yep. I think that was when Maggie Haberman said that she was sort of his binky. I think that was her clue to telling us that she was cleaning up his diapers. I think that was like a linguistic kind of suggestion.
Yeah.
Like baby language.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense to me as well.
Yeah. I take that I took that seriously. But yeah, I think look, he's a serious narcissist. He has like a classic type narcissistic personality. And it makes sense that somebody would attach to him like that. That's a young girl who probably has, I don't know if she has daddy issues or not. It's not for me to say, but it's easy for somebody to fall into that and to write notes like you're all that matters to me when you get trapped by a narcissist. And honestly, so John Ossoff's one of my senators. I love Warnock. If that tells you anything, but John Ossoff's comment about her, I really don't think was that bad. He was talking about it in the context of like he's going off and enjoying himself, and she is called the printer, right? As you said, because she prints off stories that make him feel good about himself and hands it to him. So I think that
I think he should have. I think John Ossoff could have come out and been like, "Oh, you're piping Natalie," and I still wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Because the reality of the matter is, and maybe you'll agree with me on this, I think that there is an unbelievable double standard that is not only demanded by the Republican side of media, but then also on top of that, this double standard is carried by liberal outlets as well, where like there was a lot of defense of Biden's senility by mainstream outlets, and I think this like tarnished their credibility or what remains of it. But by and large, I think like liberal media was far more critical of Biden overall, with some notable exceptions like I just mentioned, than Donald Trump at this point. And I know this sounds strange because they cover Donald Trump all the time, but Donald Trump is a perverse force that is unlike anything else that we've ever experienced, because it's not that he's just corrupt as you know other presidents have been to a certain degree. Like, this is a level of corruption that we've never seen before, and I even repeatedly say it's the type of flagrant corruption and abuse of power that you don't even see in authoritarian governments. Like, you don't even see this with like Vladimir Putin or Erdogan, because like at least they still try to hide their assets. They try to hide their wealth. They try to spread it around their friends and family, and they don't just like run around being like, I'm taking all of this money and I'm giving it to my son. Donald Trump does do that. And it's remarkable that his cult at this point, it's nothing else but a cult, still continuously shows him unbelievable levels of admiration, support. It's remarkable. It's sad. But I do think that the media has really dropped the ball and focuses on idiotic things, silly things, or at least, as I like to say, allows the Republicans and Twitter to be its news desk editor.
Yeah.
And this is a real issue.
Yeah. Which is funny because they do the exact opposite when it comes to persuading people of things. Like their focus every day on the media is very different than what the DNC ends up focusing on their, like, it's so inconsistent.
Yeah. And I find it very frustrating because, like, a big part of what I do is obviously media criticism.
Yeah.
A big part of what I do is also identifying misinformation, disinformation campaigns, and like addressing it. And I actively try to de-radicalize people. So this is like media analysis is a big part of what I do. So when I talk about this stuff, it's not just like I'm being critical because now I'm in the crosshairs or anything. I've just always been critical of what the media is doing. But yeah, I think like the Natalie Harp story is fine. I just really despise when Republicans get to cry bully as though we haven't been around for the last 10 years of Trumpism in this country.
Like, no one cares that Trump's immediate response was, "Oh, you mean Pee Wee Herman?" Like, nobody talks about that anymore, that he gives like schoolyard bully nicknames to people, because as Steve Bannon said, he has flooded the zone. So it's just hard to focus on one thing. And obviously the media is going to focus on the thing that they think is going to get the most clicks and the most hits, rather than the thing that's actually going to satisfy their audience long term, right? Which is seeing the bigger picture. And if they help them piece together a story that will allow people to make sense of reality by helping them piece together the bigger picture, that will be ultimately satisfying in the long run. But they have no patience. So it's just whatever. And I think you're right. I think they play along with whatever's on X, which again is funny because none of their actual persuasive strategies attack any of the Republicans' talking points. And what's funny about what you said too about the corruption piece is that the fact that he does it out in the open is like a point that the Republicans use to say, well, at least he's transparent about it. Hi, I love you. Hi, and you're perfect, and I love you. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
No, seriously, I am.
No, it's fine. I mean, I look again. I didn't even expect anyone to defend me on Will Kane's show.
I know, but
because these guys don't. These guys don't have me on purpose. I think it's because like if I
this baby knew my heart was hurting and came to sit with me.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get back to the Natalie Harp story now.
Access to the president of any aid, in part because she's tireless. She is incessantly around him. The president likes people who like him, and he loves people who love him. And it's hard to find someone who is sort of more devoted to President Trump than Natalie Harp.
To give you a sense of how close Harp is to the president, CBS News reported earlier this month she was one of 3 aides, plus Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who secretly flew with the president out of Turkey on a government plane instead of the larger 747 usually used as Air Force One. Her role and influence has been under renewed scrutiny ever since. Kelly?
All right, Ed, appreciate it. The brother of top Trump aide Natalie Harp is speaking out front tonight. Preston Harp has been estranged from his sister for a few years, but obviously you can see they grew up together. He's sharing these photos with out front of them together as children, weighing in on the intense attention that Natalie is now getting after Democratic Senator Jon Ossoff raised questions about her role in this White House. Preston, I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you, and I know you've shared some photos with us, you and your sister Natalie as children. Obviously, there you are, Padres fans. There you are with your parents, and now your sister is front and center in the news. I mean, front and center as it gets. Did you ever think you'd see something like this?
No, it really blows my mind.
I mean, you know, your sister, my understanding is, first became known to Trump back in 2019. And at the time, she credited him, Preston, with helping her beat a tragic battle, but one that she incredibly beat with bone cancer. Here's what she said.
This president pushed that forward and possibly saved your life.
He did. As I like to say, I'm not dying from cancer anymore thanks to President Trump. I'm living with cancer. I'm living the quality of life that I always wanted to have, that it took me 4 years to find because I wasn't offered it here. It took President Trump going to Washington to be able to get that for me.
I don't even understand what the fuck is up with this, like, President Trump gave me a secret potion and saved my life shit. Like, what capabilities does this potion have?
After that, Preston, she had speaking slots at the Faith and Freedom Conference, at the 2020 RNC, right? She became very high profile and then started working for Trump. How much do you think she truly believed that Trump saved her life?
Well, that's an interesting question. But if she thinks about it, what he did was he made experimental drugs legal to try, and that insurance would pay for it. So it's not like he like physically saved her life, you know? It's kind of different. Like, it's like Donald Trump didn't pay his own money to save my sister's life. So it really just depends how you look at it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, and look, I guess it's just one example of everyone trying to understand, you know, who this person is who spends so much time and, you know, is with the president all the time, right? He's the commander in chief and she has such an important role. So there was a series called The Art of the Surge just a couple of years ago, Preston, 2024. And in it, your sister talks extensively about working for Trump. I just wanted to play a clip of it for you. Here she is.
Politics was never something I liked. Business was my background, real estate, MBA. I was very much not interested in politics in California. I feel like you get the same kind of sort of politicians. But when I was sick, I started watching the Republican debates. He was my first exposure to politics, and I loved it. Like, this guy, you know, he gets it.
So she says there, he was her first exposure to politics, right? You guys grew up in the same home, the same family. So you understand where she's coming from in a way that no one else does.
Yeah. I mean,
what do you think drew her to him?
Definitely not her.
Yeah.
Well, my mom raised us with the idea that American exceptionalism was the correct way of looking at things.
Is this guy a Hasan head, by the way? I feel like it's kind of wild that because he says some shit on his interview where I'm like, this dude is like he's not only a pothead, but also like a little bit of a socialist.
That the United States is the boss of the world, that, like, you know, slavery was back then, that was normal. People weren't bad because they had slaves. And honestly, and it's like Trump wants to take all those books out of schools. He wants to rewrite history. And so, like, I think that my sister, unfortunately, didn't break out of that delusion that my mom raised us with. And Trump is like everything that my mom taught us to respect. So I think that's where her infatuation for Trump comes from, honestly. because I don't think it's a physical attraction. Let's get real, you know, like personally, I don't think so.
So when you use the word infatuation, I understand your point about the nature of it. I mean, she obviously is his assistant. They call her the human printer, right? She prints everything. She takes his social media dictation. She accompanies him on almost every trip, including when he goes to Mar-a-Lago or his golf club in New Jersey on the weekends. And she was, of course, Preston, as we're all now aware, one of the very few people who did not include the Secretary of State or Treasury that Trump took off Air Force One via that catering truck. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that. If you're really friends and loyal to your team, why would you just go peace out and take another airplane when you think the other airplane's going to get shot down? Like,
what do you think it is about her? I mean, what do you make of how much the
Meanwhile, this guy's a human fax machine, all fax, no printer. No, I love this guy.
President relies on her. We've learned a lot, from Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan's new book, we've learned, right, about his incredible reliance on her at all hours of the day to post social media posts, just as one example.
Yeah. I think that Trump's best friends are people who are his fan club, and so she's his biggest fan. And so that's probably why he likes her. And like, she's good
he's
looking.
Not Hasan Abihed, but he's based.
She's got a good personality. Like, I don't know.
Bro, what is he supposed to say? Trump wants to fuck my sister? I mean, if there's one guy who would say some shit like that that's a little bit out of pocket, it's this guy, right? I mean, am I crazy? It kind of strikes me as the type of dude who would say that on CNN.
I want to ask you, Preston, about something
she thinks that he saved her life. So, somebody living with that kind of gratitude, that must feel pretty good.
I want to ask you about something. I don't know if you knew about this. You probably didn't. But we're just breaking it here at CNN this hour, and that is, two sources, Preston, are telling
Let's see who he follows.
CNN that your sister was involved. Back in October 2023, right? The context here is Donald Trump's motorcade was going to leave Trump Tower for a court appearance, okay? And they were all getting into the motorcade. Oh, yeah. There was sort of a screaming match about who was getting in what car.
Yeah, no, he's a socialist. This is anti-imperialista, socialista, internacionalista, músico on his account. And he posts nonstop about Palestine. This guy's the GOAT, man. This guy's awesome. He's posting about Hasan Kanafani.
Turned out that there wasn't room for Natalie. So she insisted, she said no. Trump had personally asked her to come to this court appearance, so she needed to be in the car. Now, according to these sources, the end result is that your sister jumped into the trunk of one of the motorcade vehicles to go to the court appearance in Lower Manhattan.
That's really funny. I didn't even know about that.
I mean, what is your reaction to that? I mean, you're laughing, but I mean, is it funny or what? I mean, you know her, so that's why.
I'm sorry. It's actually kind of sad. That's obsession. That's like an unhealthy obsession with someone. If you're going to jump into the trunk of their car, like.
So I mentioned Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan's book, Regime Change, Preston, which of course I know you've heard a lot about it, but in that, Natalie's name became known to a lot of people, right? Prior to the whole NATO plane incident, she was in the book as an important player, and her role, her importance to the president became clear. They report that she left him, the president, a series of letters in personal spaces where she told him, "You're all that matters to me," in one, and another one she writes, "I want to bring you joy." And then they say that Trump said, "Your sister is the only one who loved him as much as his wife and kids." So what is your reaction to this? Does this sound like her, or the person that you knew well, your sister?
Yeah. I mean, basically, I'd say since she was like 16, she's had an obsession with gosh, how do I explain this? She's written letters to other presidents. Let me put it that way.
What the fuck? Hey, yo. She's like one of those like Charles Manson fan type individuals.
And so like her dream came true finally.
Oh, interesting. So you're saying that she actually was very aware of politics, right? And that she had written other presidents' letters. Do you happen to know which ones or what they were about or anything?
Bro, that's like, dude, fetishizing every president like this is almost as crazy as being obsessed with like serial killers. Like, what a strange fetish. What a strange thing to just like almost moving like Thomas Crooks. Yeah, true.
Thing, Preston, that you would be able to share here?
I didn't see the letter, but George Bush, obviously, during the Iraq War.
Anything, or she's
just like really into fucking right-wing presidents?
Bush, obviously, during the Iraq War.
And did anything ever come of that? I mean, did the White House ever respond or anything, or she just sort of sent a letter?
No, they never responded.
Yeah. Now, look, I've been emphasizing here, obviously, you know her in a way that no one else does as her brother, but you are obviously estranged from her at this time. But, you know, we see those pictures of you all as children and your family. If she was listening to you right now, is there anything you'd want to tell her?
Yeah, I love you. I hope that you change and that you wake up and you realize that everybody on this earth is part of a human family, and no country is better than any other country. And the history of the United States is unfortunately really sad, and it shouldn't be rewritten. We got to all come together and try to make it better.
Well, I really appreciate your time and taking the time to talk to us. Obviously, you know, your sister's in a position of incredible influence and power, and that's important to all Americans. So thank you for.
In a campaign speech in Atlanta on Sunday, Senator Ossoff turned the corruption focus on his Republican opponent, Mike Collins.
Now, I'm skipping Ossoff. Jedin'den Nesrin baban.